Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be just a review on a training prop bag that I have. So this is just a tool bag that I got for Christmas, just a Craftsman tool bag. Didn't know what to do with it, so I just kind of turned it into a training bag. So I keep a bunch of my blue guns in here. If you're going to be doing any kind of training, you need a blue gun. They're all Glocks. This one I have a Streamlight attached to the bottom of it for students who would have a weapon-mounted light. And let me I guess just reiterate or expound upon if you're going to be doing any kind of training, you need a blue gun. So anything beyond the need for shooting a live gun, if you're doing some kind of very light force on force kind of class, whether it be like pepper spray, taser, whatever, and you're not going to be firing live rounds, you need to replace your gun with a blue gun. These also come in the color red. The company called ASP, ASP, they make guns like this that they're just red. Blackhawk has some training guns out there, they're painted orange. This particular company, Rings, they have guns that are blue. It doesn't operate or anything like that. You can't pull the slide back, no trigger pulls, no magazine comes out. It's just a big old block of I don't know, some kind of plastic. I don't know what kind of plastic it is, but it's an exact one-to-one replica of this one is a Glock 17, and then this one down here is a Glock 19. But I can't stress enough, if you're going to be doing any training beyond just shooting your gun, if you're doing other types of training, you need a blue gun. Comes in real handy because, you know, if you're doing stuff like combatives or defensive techniques and you're rolling around on the ground and you're wrestling and everything, one, it's gonna save your real gun from being beat up and maybe having scratches and stuff like that, which is not going to affect the performance of the gun, just more of a cosmetic thing. But more important to that, you're not going to have some type of negligent discharge when you're doing that type of training because you've got a blue gun in there. And if you were to do that kind of training with a real gun, even if you cleared it and emptied it, there's still that possibility that, you know, a round could be introduced into it somehow, especially when you get into the force on force classes where you use the non-lethal marking rounds. There's been many cases where they do the simunition course, and in the morning they do it. Come lunchtime, everyone leaves, go to lunch. They come back after lunch. They forget to do pat downs. They forget to do stuff. A live gun makes it into the training area. They start a scenario, someone whips out a real gun, and boom, pop somebody. And that's really the biggest reason for these, is to just take away that possibility of a live gun, live round being introduced into the training environment where you don't need live ammo. I also have a taser that does not work anymore. It has somewhere within the frame a hairline fracture, and when I went to go spark it, the spark did not come out the end. It went somewhere inside the taser itself, probably fried a circuit or something like that. It just doesn't work anymore. I put a brand new battery in there. It won't even power up or anything. So I'll use this as a training prop as well for students who, you know, take my taser classes or something like that, and we're doing, you know, different kind of scenarios where they would have to throw the taser on the ground. This takes its place. That way, because it's already broken, you can't break it anymore. Safety glasses, got a couple assortment of those. I just have an extra taser cartridge with wires in it, just kind of show and tell thing. I got the taser cartridge with alligator clips. Another taser cartridge, taser wire, and a taser cartridge holder thing. Another example of a taser. This one doesn't work anymore. It's completely dead, but it's still used as a training prop for any students who may have a taser shaped like this. I have an H bandage that I kept in here. I've kind of beefed the whole main body of it up with duct tape here, and purpose of this is for when we're doing classes and doing drills, have students on the line, they're in the fight drill, and then whenever they're taking cover, the fight's over, now they got to tend to injuries. They can actually go through the process of putting on a bandage and do it several times in repetitions. I also had an older TK4 tourniquet. I'm not sure what happened to it. It probably got left on a range somewhere, so I'll have to just put another tourniquet in there. And that was something else I would do as well, is have the students actually put a tourniquet on. Old airsoft gun that doesn't really work anymore, painted it blue. That way someone could have, if they had a Beretta, have a Beretta replica. Keys. You're thinking, why the heck do you need keys for it? So in the vehicle tactics class, we would use these. The students would hold on to them, and it would mimic, any keys that they may have on their body that they use on a regular day basis. And we'd start some drills off with keys in your hand, in your gun hand, and they'd have to go through the drill and drop non-essential crap out of their hand. Just get into that habit and repetition of ditching stuff you don't need and getting your gun out and getting in the fight. So these are just keys that can be beat up, thrown, whatever. It's not going to cause any damage to their personal keys. The keys that are on here are just keys from my earlier life. I never forgot which ones they go to. I think one of these goes to my parents' house, but I'm not really sure which one that would be. I do know that this key, this key goes to my very first vehicle, old 1991 GMC Sierra. And some of these keys probably go to some of my previous apartments or something. I don't know where the heck it would go to, but I do recognize that one key. Cell phones. So this is an old, one of my old cell phones, Motorola phone. It went tits up, doesn't work anymore. So I turned it into a training prop. I just printed out some numbers, laid them on the screen area, drew in a little, little button on there for completing the call, and I guess you could say laminated some of it with some tape. And the purposes of this is for, again, training drills where the student needs to simulate calling 911. Instead of them just, pretending with an imaginary phone, they actually have something in their pocket they can take out and they can look at and they can see numbers on there. And they have to actually press 911, boom. Again, going through repetition, getting them used to doing that. Now, obviously, you can't with this, simulate putting your finger on the fingerprint reader, holding it to your face and having it unlock and hitting the little phone button over there, or holding it down and saying, Siri, call 911. Yeah, there's limitations to it, but still, it gets people into that habit and that repetition of reaching in their pocket, pulling out something that's the size of their normal phone, and hitting 911 and getting the cavalry on the way. So I've got that one. I had another little cell phone that way back in the day. I don't even remember the history on this one. I think it may have come from the bar. Lots of people left their phones in the bar. We would try to make a good faith effort to get it returned to them, and we'd hold it right there at the front bar for them to come back and get one day. Can't tell you how many phones that no one ever came back and got, and this one just was probably a year or so, or several months, and no one came and picked it up, and so it just went into my collection of stuff. Kind of a hoarder, and when I started doing some classes, I decided to take it and repurpose it as a training prop. And again, I put the little numbers on there for calling 911. I don't even think this type of phone is really manufactured anymore. This is from the mid 2000s, so it's kind of like a trip back in time. This was an old battery charger of mine that finally bit the dust. I think I had intentions of putting numbers on it and making it look like a cell phone, but obviously I never got around to it because it didn't have any little numbers on there. It looks like a silica pack that's on the inside of this. I don't know why I got it in there. Oral rehydration salts. Some of these classes, do it outside and do it in the middle of summer, so I just probably threw this in there to have some rehydration salts. Something from the Holiday Inn, probably when I did my one of my taser classes in there. I don't know what I had this particular paper for, but it somehow found its way in there. Highlighter, marker, just for marking stuff. I need that. Somehow fell in there. And firecrackers to simulate gunfire, so students can be on the range or whatever. Instead of me firing guns right behind them into the ground or something like that, I can light off some firecrackers and throw them off to the side, and it simulates gunfire in a vehicle tactics class. While they're sitting in the vehicle and you're off to the side without them seeing you, you can light these off on top of the car, or light them and throw them off to the side of the car, whatever have you, and as soon as they're going off, that's the cue for them to start fighting. Some smoke, grenades, light those off, throw some smoke on the field. Don't know what this went to. No idea. And for some reason I got a chem stick in here. And that's it. So I'm gonna keep some of this stuff out because I don't need it in there. It's just for some reason it made its way in there. Oh, I forgot to mention this. Just an old extra magazine carrier. That way someone could wear it and not beat up their actual real one. This has been a review of my training prop bag. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.